following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences. Right.
So as most of you know, unless you've been hiding under a goddamn rock, Jada Pinkett Smith has been on a nationwide media tour spilling the beans about her personal life for no apparent reason. In the process, she has managed to totally emasculate her now estranged husband, Will Smith, all the way to the point where now most people believe she's just making shit up. Me personally, I don't believe that her and Will were separated since 2016. I don't believe it. It just doesn't add up. With all the embarrassing things that she's already let the world know about her marriage, especially on the Red Table Talk, it makes no sense to lie about being separated now. I believe this is Jada's attempt to distance herself from Will after basically he laid his whole career down on the line for her. And by that, I mean by slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars. But apparently, that ain't the only thing she may or may not be lying about. So what I want to do first is, I want to show you guys this clip from the All the Smoke podcast with Steven Jackson, and I can't remember the light-skinned nigga's name, but All the Smoke podcast. Let's play this clip from Jada, and then we're going to get into this discussion.
Parts, seeing him there, the condition that he was in and having to leave him there. He was in bad shape. And so when he asked me to get married, he was at Rikers.
Pay attention. She's claiming Tupac proposed to her while he was in Rikers Island Correctional Facility.
And I knew at that time that he needs somebody to do time with him, which I was going to do anyway. He had to marry me to do time, right? I'm here.
So listen to this shit. She's saying Pac proposed to her while he was in Rikers Island, and she said she was going to do that time with him, you know, all this and all that. This is Jada saying this shit out her own mouth.
I see why we love you.
And then to, like, he needed a rock. He needed, because of our friendship and because of everything we had been through together, he just wanted to feel that solidified foundation.
I swear, this bitch be saying a whole bunch of nothing. Pay attention to these words. She uses a whole bunch of big words to say nothing.
You know, because I promise you, he would have married me and divorced me as soon as his ass left jail.
I believe that. That's probably true.
And I just think it was the mind state that he was in. You know, he wrote me this long letter. And even before Pac went to jail, he was starting to shift in a certain manner.
Good or bad?
Good. Really good. And I think that for him, he just felt like, okay, if I can tether myself, it'll keep me on a trajectory. But
I love how she's just speaking for a dead man. This shit blows my mind, man.
Trust me, he would have divorced me as soon as he. One thing he didn't want me as is a wife.
He was part.
It's a goddamn shame Will Smith wasn't as smart as Tupac. Tupac seen it coming, apparently. Right? So anyway. So, after this interview, people started doing their homework on the situation. And apparently, this shit ain't adding up. Now, I'm going to let this woman who I happen to stumble across on TikTok give y'all her 2 cents. She's definitely making sense here. So I want to let you see what she has to say, and then we'll have the discussion. Also, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. If you want to join the discussion, Come on in. I see DQ is still in the building. DQ, if you want to join the discussion, say something in the chat. I'll let you back up on the screen. But yeah, we're going to talk about this shit tonight. Jada Pinkett.
Blood clot.
Full of motherfucking cap.
Stop the cap.
Let's go. All right, let's get this damn video up here. All righty. Where the fuck is this shit at? Hold on. All right, here we go. Boom.
Is currently on her Pay Attention to Me tour. Jada's lying, and I have the timeline to prove it. And I'm literally in the middle of moving. That's why I look raggedy, but I cannot handle these fucking lies anymore. Jada is currently on her Pay Attention to Me tour, and she is making all these wild claims, including that Tupac proposed to her while he was at Rikers. Really? The math isn't mathing, so let's take a look. Tupac was convicted of sexual assault charges on February 8th, 1995. From there, he was sent to Rikers Prison, only to be transferred less than a month later to Clinton Correctional Facility. And she specifically said she went to see him. This was not on the phone.
Book when I go to see him in Rikers, probably one of the more painful parts. Seeing him there, the condition that he was in, and having to leave him there.
Cool. So prior to going into Rikers, Tupac already had a girlfriend named Keisha. He proposed to Keisha, her words, in a September 2011 interview. He proposed to Keisha before he even went into prison. They were already engaged. They got married in April. And in the time that he got sentenced and was taken to prison, Keisha actually moved closer to be by him and be by the prison and saw him on a near daily basis.
When he asked me to get married, he was at Rikers.
So you're telling me that in the 3 to 4 week window that he was at Rikers, engaged to another woman who had moved closer to the prison and was there almost every day, Tupac proposed to Jada. But hey, Jess, you might be saying to yourself, Tupac wasn't known to be a one-woman man. He was no angel. Fair enough. Let's see where Jada was during February of 1995, which was, as we've already established, the only time she would have been able to see Tupac at Rikers since he was only there for less than a month. You see, Jada had already met Will Smith in 1994 on the set of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yo, this bitch is on it.
But Will Smith was married, and so nothing happened between them. But in February of 1995, Will Smith was served divorce papers by his wife. 5 days later, on February 19th, Will called Jada and said, "Are you single?" And she said, "Yep." Will said, "We're together now." Jada said, "Cool." And she immediately flew to LA. She flew so immediately that when he called her, she was in Maryland at a brand new house she bought. And she never spent a single night in her new house. That's how immediately she flew to LA.
All right. So she's got the facts there. Now she's got a part 2 to this. So we're going to play the part 2 and then we'll get back to the discussion. All right. Let's get this off the screen. Get the part 2. All right. Here we go. Part 2.
In all that time, did you visit Tupac at Rikers and get this fucking proposal? And for the record, Keisha and Tupac stayed married for about 10 months. They got their marriage annulled about 4 or 5 months after Tupac was released from prison. He was bailed out by Suge Knight. It wasn't long after that that he met Kidada Jones. Kidada Jones is the daughter of legendary Quincy Jones. Kidada looks a little recognizable. You may know her sister, Rashida Jones, who played Karen on The Office. Kidada and Tupac were living together and engaged when Tupac was shot and killed. Kidada was the one that was there with him at the hospital the night he died. Kidada was handed his bloody clothes. She was the one who told him, "We all love you," before he slipped into a coma and never woke up. Keisha spoke with Tupac several days before he died because even though their marriage was annulled, they still remained good friends. And I can't help but notice that all of the women who are actually part of his life in a meaningful way are the ones that have just kept quiet. They've kept silent. They've kept their memories to themselves and not tried to use a dead man as their limelight. And the person who's squawking about him the most is making claims that can't even be verified and don't make sense from the perspective of a verifiable timeline.
I see why we love you.
He needed a rock. Because of our friendship and because of everything we had been through together, he just wanted to feel that solidified foundation.
Because so many people in that position don't have support.
Right.
None at all.
None. You know?
And he got the best.
He did get the best, but not from Jada, because per Will Smith's own words, that him and Jada were pretty much humping all over the world. They were traveling constantly from the first 3 months they were together, all over the world. So Tupac did get some great support, I imagine, from his wife, who moved closer to be with him and visited him every day. And why do I care? Because I'm Gen X, and like any good Gen X person, I grew up on Tupac. We all remember this going down. We all remember where we were when we heard that Tupac got shot or that he died. We all had this fucking hat from Poetic Justice, walking around looking like newsies, slinging newspaper about the Great Depression and FDR. And we're all just sitting here watching Jada spout these lies, being like, do you think no one remembers? Because we all remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers, Jada.
I mean, shit. There we have it. I mean, look, Jada's out here looking crazy. But the masses ain't really going for it. Well, except a significant portion of a certain ethnicity of females who do not accept defeat or take accountability in any way, shape, creed, or form. I mean, let's really think about this. Do y'all really think Pac was feeling Jada the way she tries to play it out in her mind? Do y'all really think that? She claims Tupac never cracked it. But we all know that ain't nothing but cap. Jada was just a chick in Pac's rotation. The woman he actually loved, he was engaged to. That's Quincy Jones's daughter. I mean, shit. According to most of his close friends, he had more admiration for Madonna than he had for Jada. At the end of the day, this woman just needs to stop what she's doing and get some fucking help. She's 50-something years old, out here acting like she's too good for her superstar husband. But she's going out the hard way, and she's gonna find out the hard way. Who in their right mind is gonna be out here checking for Jada Pinkett Smith at this point? You can't even leave her alone around your kids' friends. Like what you saw? Subscribe to Trippin Ain't Easy TV today. Also, don't forget to check out one of our most recent videos located in the top left-hand corner of the screen.